Hello, hello, and welcome to Cheers from Afar. This is episode 5. I am Dalen, and I'm here with Jenice and Jeff, who make up the Steep Peak Kombucha team. Today we are going to be trying the Helter Seltzer Pink. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually crack them right away, and then we are going to start talking to and get to know Jenice and Jeff. So this is a new product that we have released quite recently. And you'll notice on the label, Helter Seltzer Pink, you'll notice on the label it has the Steep Peak Kombucha logo on it. Jenice and Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about what Steep Peak does?
Yeah, we are a family-run craft kombucha brewery. We're in southern Alberta in Crow's Nest Pass, so right on the spine of the Rocky Mountains on the border of BC. And we make kombucha. We've been doing it since 2016, and we make everything on tap. And our flavors like to focus on things in the landscape and from the community, and our seasonal. And yeah, we just love kombucha and we love being outside, so we try to put that together as much as possible.
What is kombucha?
That's a good question. So it's a fermented tea. So it's a cold carbonated drink, low in sugar, quite tasty, a little bit sour. Yeah, kind of a healthy alternative to pop if you want, I guess.
Okay.
So non-alcoholic. Yeah.
Yeah,
And is for those who are familiar with like the brewing process, is it similar to making beer, or how do you make fermented tea?
yeah, the whole process takes about 3 weeks. And you have sweet tea. We use an organic fair trade tea that we use some eco-social sugar to sweeten. And we use some of the kombucha from the prior batch, just like if you're making sourdough bread, you keep some of the dough for the new batch. And what happens is the yeast and the bacteria work to change the sugars into alcohol and then into acetic acids and B vitamins and probiotics. You get the sugar is reduced during fermentation, and then we carbonate it and flavor it. And it's a drink that came over from Asia through Europe. My grandpa, he brewed it in the 80s with his Eastern European background, and now it seems to be popular again. People are enjoying it for its fresh taste. It has a bit of like kind of an apple cider fermented flavor to it if you've never tried it. And hopefully if you had a bad experience trying kombucha, I challenge you to try it again. And there's some great brewers across Alberta that are making some wonderful kombucha right now.
I think one of the things that I've really thought of as like very initially off-putting was so you use a SCOBY to produce it, and it is pretty much just like a dead squid, or
Yeah,
it floats in the tea, right? Yeah.
You've seen this. It could be stuff of nightmares. I'm joking.
Yeah.
I feel like, it's this, Jeff and I both come with a science background, and it is incredible to watch the science that goes behind it. You take a SCOBY, so that's the symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. That's where the word SCOBY comes from, and some of the starter from the past batch. And it some people call it the mother, and it multiplies. And whenever you do a new batch, and then you take part of that and add it to the new batch of kombucha that you're making.
Yeah, I've definitely been rooting through the fridge looking for something to eat, and then find a mystery Tupperware and get a bit of a surprise when I open it. Yeah, it's I mean, it's something we've dabbled in a little bit, not as a company, but my wife and I. And um, I know with some of the other kombuchas that I've tried, I mean, I've had a fair bit from Steep Peak, as well as some other more commercial brands. Um, so I know some of them taste like pure vinegar, whereas stuff like yours are a little bit like they're not as acidic. How do you control that process? Like, is it just a bad culture that they're using? Or I don't want to say bad, but like, is it just the culture that makes a difference, or is it the time that it takes, or how do some of them have so much like acetic acid, whereas yours, I find that they just have like that. It's just like a delicious tang, but it's nothing like gonna take the varnish off your teeth or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay, well, glad that you like it so much, Dalen. um, well, I mean, it is an open air process. We have had our culture tested, and we feel like the culture that we bring to it provides like some of those good balance of flavors. We also manage the pH, and I think the temperature has to be regulated carefully. Everything has to be really highly sanitized. And I think a key thing is the ingredients that you use, like the quality of the sugars, the integrity of the tea, and the consistency of those things that you can bring into it can help with the variability of such a process that is exposed to the environment during the fermentation.
Yeah, there's a ton of environmental factors, and just like beer, water is a huge one. So
Yeah.
the better quality water, or the pure water you have, the better, the crisper flavors you're going to have in it. And then also with the SCOBY itself, like you've got the bacteria and the yeast in there that are both bringing different flavor profiles. And so just like you'd use a specific yeast in a beer to add a certain flavor profile or target it towards a certain flavor, then your SCOBY culture will also have those different profiles. And so I don't know, we've just been very fortunate with our cultures. I think that it's really kind of hit those flavors that people really like, and less of the vinegar type or salad dressing flavors.
Yeah, I like to think that it's even our location, our mountain area. You look outside and we're just like on the edge of this incredible mountain, just out our back door. And I like to think that it's a happy place where the kombucha is being made, and it's happy to be in this part of the country right here with nature right outside. So
that's a fun way to think of it. It's happy culture because they get to breathe mountain air, and
it's just that simple.
Yeah. Easy then.
That's why we're so happy too. Yeah.
So I guess for us, I know like we had been talking about this idea of kind of like a pink lemonade seltzer for a few months ago now. Time seems to have lost all of its relevance lately, but I know we had been talking about the idea of like a pink lemonade seltzer, and I know, and I'm not just pumping your tires, but like I know we wanted to work with you guys to do this. I know we bring in your kombucha to serve on tap at the brewery, and it always is going super quick. I know I've never had kombucha that I didn't really enjoy from you guys, and so I know we wanted to. To work with you just because, like you mentioned, the creativity and the quality of ingredients can definitely go a long way, and it's not just in kombucha but in beer also. So I know a few months ago we had started talking about the idea of a pink lemonade seltzer and how to do it, and then you were gracious enough to give us your contact and send us all of the ingredients that we needed to make sure that the quality was as top notch as it could be. So it has a little bit of a spur on the back here. So Mayor Lemon, Bergamot, Hibiscus, and Earl Grey. I know Earl Grey does contain bergamot already. Can you maybe just explain a little bit of some of those flavors, maybe like the Earl Grey and hibiscus, and what you would expect out of those in a kombucha?
Yeah, so the Earl Grey that we use is organic and fair trade, and Earl Grey tends to have that bergamot flavor in it. Bergamot is a citrus fruit similar to tangerine. And so I know we talked about even adding additional bergamot in there to really get that citrus flavor to pop with the lemon of the Helter Seltzer. And then we were really looking for something for a unique way to bring that bright pink color into the brew. And the hibiscus is something that we have used for different Valentine's brews, or if it's, not in there for so long, it doesn't really get that really dry, bitter taste. And so I think that was something that you really monitored about how much hibiscus you added. And then it just gives like this incredible pink color, if you can even see it. But and the hibiscus that we use is organic as well.
Yeah, we I know when we were having the conversation, one of the things that we try to do with our Helter Seltzer, it's for those who don't know, it's a hard seltzer water, so it's typically dry and fizzy, and it's alcoholic. So ours is made with malts as well as sugar, so it's not just like vodka and water, or using just pure dextrose to ferment out a clear beverage. So you usually get a little bit of color with it. It's hard to see in this just because it's bright pink from the hibiscus. But when we were talking, I know we wanted to maintain a lot of that. I know even we were just mentioning before this, like the idea of like pink lemonades gives you the thought that it would perhaps be a little bit more sweet. And so there's, again, with this, it'd be like the kombucha, like there's no residual sugar, so it's going to be like a low carb, low calorie beverage. And we really try to produce our seltzers in a way that not only can they be enjoyed on their own as like a crisp, refreshing, low calorie option, but also they make really fun mixes. And we thought the pink would be a really fun one to use in cocktails as well.
Okay.
So yeah, we've been talking about the color. It's probably hard to tell on your guys' monitors, but like it's a really fun, it's a clear, rosy, deep kind of pink. It's a really fun color, and it has a very floral, I would say, aroma to it.
I think that's something that's neat about the color, right? Is that, it's natural. It's from something that also adds to the, to the flavor and the aromas of it too, right? So, it wasn't just a color additive that you put in here. Like it looks quite sharp, I think. So
that's and I mean, it's not just the fact that we make our seltzer with malt, but that the Earl Grey tea gives it so much, like it's dry, it's bone dry, but it gives it so much body and complexity and interest. To me, it reminds me of if you were to have a beverage that was like sweetened with like an artisanal honey or something like that. It's like a lot of like clover and honeysuckle flavors, but none of that sweetness. But
when we was first smelling it, it was like I really could smell the tannins of the tea coming through, like in a light way, but I could tell it did have that tea to it. I was expecting it to be incredibly sweet at first, from when we were doing our initial testing, and then I was thinking, the way that presented, but like I don't want something that's going to be garbage for me for sweetness. Like I can't finish it. This I find really light and refreshing and just not overwhelming sweet, which I really like.
Yeah, it's a really fun collaboration, and yeah, it's something that we're actually going to continue to produce for the time being, just because we're very happy with how it turned out. Yeah, so if we were to release this in a beer competition, so we typically follow the BJCP, or the Beer Judge Certification Program guidelines. The latest update was in 2015, and so they don't really have anything that seltzers would fall under. And so we would probably throw this under 34C experimental beer. So that's exactly what it was. It's an experiment. I mean, I know, yeah, there could be some sort of like other adjunct categories it could fall within, but yeah, I think just experimental beer, like the kind of catch-all one at the end, is probably the one that we would put it in. Yeah, I know this is available now province-wide. Jenice and Jeff, you were mentioning that you guys are getting it into Blairmore in southern Alberta as well. And we've noticed that since we released it a little while ago, it's been picked up kind of scattered across the province. So if you're looking to try it and you're not in Grand Prairie, you can definitely pick it up online. Or if you do happen to live in Grand Prairie, then we will bring it to your door for free. So no cost delivery. So you can buy it online at grainbinbeer.com, and yeah, like I said, we'll deliver for free, and it's if the order is placed before 2 p.m. It's same day delivery. So that's super handy. Well, thanks, Jenice and Jeff, for taking a part of this. Yeah.
Dalen, thanks for brewing this. It's delicious. I can't wait for a warm, sunny day to sit outside in the snowbank, and
it'll come. I hope.
It's refreshing. It is a truly refreshing drink. So
yeah. Thanks.
We're really happy with you guys being willing to help out with it. Like I said, it's a collaboration with Steep Peak Kombucha. Just so that there's no confusion, it's we picked their brains, and they helped with the science behind the drink, helping us develop the flavors that we wanted, as well as the we were looking for fun natural color, and creating a lot of these flavors without sacrificing any quality. So it isn't a kombucha. Just uses all of their expertise in brewing with tea. So you're not going to get that same sort of tartness that you would with kombucha. So just keep that in mind. It's not a kombucha beer collaboration, but it is more the minds behind kombucha and the minds behind some of the beer that made it. But thanks again, guys. And I know we're probably going to be doing a few more of these recordings in the future, because we love working with you guys, and I think we're going to be doing a lot more of it moving forward.
Awesome. Cheers to you, Dalen.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.